Hello all, welcome back to our channel. Diwali is just around the corner and I'm sure you all are in a festive mood. There are many stories regarding Deepavali and the most common one is about the celebration of the return of Lord Rama and Devi Sita to Ayodhya. Today, we are going to narrate a lesser known story about Diwali. So please do watch this video till the end. Why do we celebrate Diwali? Birth of Narakasura. A quick background on who Narakasura or Bhauma is. When Hiranyaksha moved the mother Bhumi out of her orbit, an Asura was created out of the contact between them, and thus Bhauma was born. Lord Vishnu took the avatar of Varaha Swami and placed the mother Bhumi back in her orbit and also married Bhumi Devi. So, Narakasura is also said to be the son of Varaha Swami and Bhumi Devi. Narakasura grew up and became very powerful. Banasura, who was also a powerful Asura, saw Narakasura's strength and decided to use him. He told him that if he meditated on Lord Brahma, he will make Narakasura more powerful and then he can rule the three worlds and not just the earth. When he set out on his path to absolute power and universal destruction, he made sure he was insured for life. He sought his boon from the most gullible of gods, the Creator, Lord Brahma. Lord, you need not grant me immortality, he told Brahma. I have heard that I was born of Bhumi Devi, Mother Earth herself. So if I die, let it be at the hands of my own mother. So be it, said a relieved Brahma. He knew these boon-seeking Asuras too well. Invasion of the three worlds. Narakasura took pleasure in inflicting torture to the beings of the three worlds through constant raiding and plunders. He imprisoned sages and devas too. He attacked the heaven ruled by Indra to seize thousands of divine elephants of the army. After taking over all the kingdoms on earth, Narakasura attacked Devaloka. Indra and his demigods bet a hasty retreat as Narakasura stomped around the heavens. He took 16,000 women from the palaces as prisoners. As he was leaving, he noticed a pair of glowing earrings adorning the ears of Aditi, the mother goddess. Fascinated, he snatched away the earrings from her ears and left. Krishna and Satyabhama. A weeping Aditi Devi came to Satyabhama, Lord Krishna's consort and Bhumi Devi's reincarnation, who at once took her to meet her husband. Lord Krishna, the all-knowing, swung into action. Do not worry, gentle mother, we'll set things right at once, he said to Aditi Devi kindly. Krishna worked out a plan in his mind. He turned to his wife. Come on, Satyabhama, you've always wanted to join me in battle. Here's your chance. Gather your weapons and we'll have Garuda take us there. Together, they mounted Garuda, the mighty eagle, who transported them to Narakasura's capital, Pragyotishpura, in modern Assam. Defeat of Mura. Narakasura's empire or town was called Pragyotishpuram and built with 7 huge protection layers, such as mountains, poisonous gases, a water stream full of crocodiles and sharks, fire and cruel animals. Sri Krishna took his Garuda Vahana and easily flew over all these layers. As he stepped onto the empire, what seemed like beautiful platforms turned into a 100-headed snake. Narakasura saw Krishna's arrival and laughed. "Why does he even try?" he said to his army commander Mura. "I can only be killed by my own mother. Go slay him now." Mura, the 5-headed demon, and a huge Asura army went to meet the Lord, but Krishna killed all of them effortlessly. Since he killed Mura, Krishna got his name Murari henceforth. Seeing his army chief killed, Narakasura ran out of his palace, uttering a fierce war cry, accompanied by hundreds of Asuras on elephants and horses. He flung a thunderbolt at Krishna, but Garuda swooped low, and it missed its target. Krishna sent down feathered arrows, which killed all the Asuras and their mounts. Garuda, with his great wings, struck this way and that, bringing to ground horses and elephants. Satyabhama too rained arrow after arrow on the army, and soon Narakasura was the only one left on the battlefield. He took his powerful trident and hurled it at Krishna. The trident hit the Lord on his chest and became unconscious. For a moment, Satyabhama couldn't believe what she saw. "This can't be," she told herself, and aimed an arrow at the Asura. It pierced Narakasura right on his chest, and he fell with an agonizing cry. As an anxious Satyabhama turned to her fallen lord, Krishna got up with a mischievous smile. He was only playing a part, for Satyabhama was an incarnation of Bhumi Devi, and it was her arrow which was destined to slay Narakasura. However, some scriptures say that Lord Krishna used his discus to kill the evil Narakasura on Satyabhama's affirmation. Mother Earth's oath and celebration of the death of the demon. Krishna said, "Narakasura, this is Satyabhama. She is actually an incarnation of Bhumi Devi." Both of them looked at Krishna with surprise as Krishna continued, "She incarnated with the special purpose of defeating you. I could never have defeated you. Only Satyabhama could. So I pretended to fall unconscious and the rest was done by her," Krishna said, looking at Satyabhama with pride. She realized the truth in Krishna's words and took Narakasura's head in her lap and cried out, "My son, why did you have to follow such a dark path? Why did you?" Narakasura stopped Satyabhama. "No, mother, you are not responsible for my choices. I chose wrongly and you fought me for what you believed as right. You have done the right thing and I am glad to call you my mother." Narakasura, before his last breath, prayed to his mother Bhumi Devi that people should celebrate his death by lighting lamps all over and bursting firecrackers to rejoice the occasion. He repented for his innumerable sins committed against innocent people due to his dark ignorance. Bhumi Devi declared that the death of her son should be rejoiced as it is victory over evil. The 16,000 women were freed and Mother Goddess earrings were retrieved and returned back safely. Krishna and Satyabhama returned from battle victorious, and it is to celebrate this victory of good over evil that we celebrate Diwali, the festival of lights. Thus was born the celebration of Diwali, the triumph of good over evil. Why do we do the traditional oil bath? The second day of the 5-day-long festival of Diwali is Naraka Chaturdashi. This is the day of Narakasura's death. On this day, women draw colorful rangolis on the doorways and courtyard with rice paste, with footprints of Lakshmi, and light lamps to welcome her. After burning the effigies of the demon Narakasura, people bathe and pray to Lord Yama. They pray by lighting lamps with 4 wicks at various places. Lord Yama is invoked through prayers to overcome the dangers of death and for a long life. It is believed that on this day, Krishna and Satyabhama returned from the battle before daybreak, all covered in blood and grime. They needed a clean-up with sandal paste and scented oils. Since then, it has become the practice to take bath with scented oils before sunrise. So you too take that oil bath this year and have a sparkling Diwali. Did you all enjoy the story? I'm sure you all would have. Let us celebrate this Diwali with our family and friends, keeping in mind all the COVID-19 safety measures. Let's make this Diwali a cracker-free Diwali for the betterment of Mother Earth. Thank you and wishing you all a very happy Diwali in advance.